F1 Manager Time, round Spa.
And we're in Belgium, in the picturesque province of Liège. Halfway through the season, it's too early to call the championship. Can teams make good before the summer break, or will they be hoping for a reset? Spa-Francorchamps is famous for its long straights and fast corners. Drag efficiency will make all the difference here as drivers zoom through the famous sequence of Eau Rouge leading up into Raidillon. But a twisty middle sector keeps things tricky down on the track.
This time, teams have two races to contend with, as a sprint race will decide the starting order for the weekend's Grand Prix.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Formula One.
Of course, being Spa, that means there's only one practice session, George on 85% setup. Only medium driver confidence, which isn't great.
It's time to determine starting positions for the sprint race, here in qualifying.
In a format familiar to our drivers, 3 parts of qualifying will decide who sits where on the sprint race grid. A good performance today will give them a real advantage for the rest of the weekend.
In terms of George Russell and his form, Karun, how's he going to be feeling, do you imagine?
It's interesting because they weren't that fast in practice. I'm not sure if this was a lack of pace or just the team trying different things, but I imagine we'll see their true performance soon enough.
So stay with us, folks. It's sure to be a good one.
Right, into Q1 we go. Done Inter's lap just to gain the driver's confidence. So if you're struggling with confidence, I'd massively recommend doing Inter's laps at the start of quality instead of scrub runs. If you know you have the car to do one and done, because it helps them gain confidence. So yeah, Hamilton green, George purple. George has got the slipstream. I'm assuming that because our car is a little bit slower here, that will show. Because we were the quickest in Hungary, but Hungary is a short circuit. This is a longer circuit, so I'm expecting the gap to be bigger. Even though there's a Haas in P1 somehow, and AlphaTauri in 4th. So God knows what the grid is smoking today. Anyway, I think the 15th of July will be the last episode of this. If you want to watch this live, all that's tight, you can. Mega Gamer 8888 on Twitch. And make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying F1 Manager as well, because there's plenty more to come, especially with F1 Manager 24 just 2 weeks away. As we finish up Q1, Norris, Albon. I think that was the 2 Alfa Romeos out. Maybe probably Sargent. Oh, Sargent isn't in this anymore, is he? I don't think so. Anyway, down to turn 1, down towards the bottom of the track, up to one of the best and fastest corners in the world, Eau Rouge. Now up through Raidillon, down towards the Kemmel Straight, through Lake Om chicane, remembered it, and then that's where my knowledge of the corners stop. Apart from why this is no name, even though I'm pretty sure it's been named now. I wonder if they'll update Spa for F1 Manager 24, because they've said they're improving graphics. The graphics look much better on F1 Manager 24. Then create a team feature where you could even leave your team if you get bored with it is great. That's better than EA's My Team by a long way. And yeah, it just looks a lot better. As Kevin Magnussen's fastest again, until we go 1-2, but Haas actually got a car to challenge. As now we start in Q2. I said we was going to be slower here because it's a longer circuit, but I reckon we could be in the hunt for pole, assuming I haven't jinxed it. I reckon we could be in the fight for pole, judging on just how quick our car was in the first 2 parts qualifying. We were 3rd and 4th, and just then we're 1st and 2nd, as neither driver has purple sector, so that just eliminates everything I just said. It is a sprint race, so we do have a practice session next. We're not just going straight into the race, but that does mean that the drivers won't be as knowledged on the circuit and the cars, so hopefully we can just get the best out of this and hopefully push forward in the sprint if we have a bad qualifying. Lewis comes up to line, so 140.4, and he's going to come in this lap. George is going to come across the line through the final chicane, the bus stop chicane, up to line. 8 tenths off, really? Christ, I'm hoping for a better second run than that. 8th and 9th. Now, come on, we can get at least. Well, now there's a Haas in second. I hope we can out-qualify the Haas, but I don't think Haas are slow anymore, so at least 4th and 5th, I would say, at least. Oh, sorry, 5th and 6th. 5th and 6th, at least. As they're both green in the first sector, so there's that. They're improving. George getting a slipstream off the Ferrari, Lewis getting a slipstream off George. So both drivers are getting a slipstream, unlike normally in Q3 where I use the two drivers to slipstream one another. Going through the final few corners down towards Bronchaman, I think, and then through the right and left. So that's where Max did his wizard overtake, even though Esteban Gutierrez done it. Oh, hello, Hamilton on pole. Where's that come from? 2.5 tenths. George P6, not great. Yeah, Esteban Gutierrez done the same overtake a year before Max, and Max went off twice while doing so. But nobody remembers Esteban Gutierrez's one. Make of that what you will. As everyone is finished. Yeah, that's pole. That's pole on P6 for the sprint race. Let's go. Nice. We'll keep pushing, and hopefully we can win the sprint and get P3 with George maybe, or P2, who knows. As in FP2, just the usual with us, the damaged engine, the worn engine. We didn't use those in quali, but we did use them for practice. So you can't expect the same pace in practice and in qualifying from us. But onwards and upwards into the sprint race, as the drivers are now they're very high on confidence. So yeah, onto the sprint race.
This weekend, it's something a little bit different, as the Grand Prix grid is decided by more racing in today's eagerly anticipated sprint. And whilst qualifying has already established today's starting grid, the results of the sprint will determine the lineup for the Grand Prix itself.
Points go to the top finishers in the sprint, and with no mandatory pit stops, it's all about the racing on the track.
Well, teams will need to be clever. There's no time to relax. It's the sprint around Spa. "15 long and challenging laps await the drivers in today's sprint here at Spa."
And once the lights go out here at Spa, the attention will shift to the first corner, a turn that has seen its fair share of dramatic incidents over the years.
So then, it's time to see who wants that victory the most. Here we are, the sprint around Spa-Francorchamps. And it's lights out, and away we go!
And indeed it is lights out and away we go. We've gone mediums and we're going to push them quite hard. We're the only people to be on mediums. Alonso's on the hards. I don't know what he's doing, considering you can literally attack the mediums to the flag and they'll be fine, so the hards will have no benefit. As Lewis gets Leclerc back into turn 1, as DRS is enabled on lap 2 in these sprints. As Verstappen gets Magnussen, George goes for it, can't quite find a gap. Magnussen spins. That drops any decent grid for Haas tomorrow gone, and any decent points for Haas gone in the sprint race. Oh dear, that is not ideal, Kevin Magnussen. Team understandably quite frustrated, as George is now going to try and fly around the outside of Max Verstappen. He's going to try and push up towards Charles Leclerc. Lewis has now gapped Charles Leclerc, and Russell on the final lap has overtaken Charles Leclerc with the DRS. He's going to defend from Leclerc. We're going to take him back to neutral defence just so he doesn't lose too much time. And it's going to be a 1-2 for Mercedes in the sprint. We have built a rocket ship. An actual rocket ship. We are W11 revived.
Thanks so much. Guys, thank you so much for pushing. There's a lot of work to do.
towards the checkered flag. So that's P2.
Nice one. Alright, nice work.
Well done.
And what a magnificent sprint win for Lewis Hamilton.
And what a well-deserved P1 finish that was. Absolutely outstanding.
Feel bad for Zhou Guanyu, man. 1 place away from the points and Russell climbed 4 places.
Here we are, folks. We're back for another day of scintillating F1 action. It's race day.
Motor car racing didn't have the best of starts at Spa-Francorchamps. Only one driver registered for the very first car race back in 1921, so a motorbike race replaced it instead. Times have changed, and now Spa is a solid fixture on the F1 calendar.
Lewis there, getting himself ready for today's race. Karun, how's he going to be feeling at the moment, do you think?
Well, pole position is obviously a fantastic way to start this one. That being said, there's a lot of work to do between here and the checkered flag.
Well, this may well be another Belgian Grand Prix for the ages, so stick around and find out how it all ends.
Yes, that is right. Soft, mediums, wets.
We've got 44 laps ahead of us here in Spa as we get ready for the Belgian Grand Prix. Our attention shifts to Lewis Hamilton and what he can produce in this race.
They start in P1, but will they be able to stay there? The first corner could be so crucial.
And the time has come. Let's go racing. Get ready. It's the Belgian Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away.
And away we go. George Russell into the lead. Lewis Hamilton P2. Yep, it's just a battle. Whoever is leading out of these two gets the first pit stop, because I don't think many people are going to try and pit for dryers, because I'm trying to push them. And at the moment we've got a 1.5 second interval. I know we need about 15-16 seconds for a pit stop, so it's about trying to get a pit stop gap early, which is going to be the problem. These two are fighting. I don't think I want them to fight that much, but a little bit of fighting is okay where necessary. As Lewis and George swapping places, George now gets ahead. Lewis is now going to try and get ahead on lap 6. It is 44 laps for car 44, so I've got a feeling this race, this lap, this number is made for Lewis almost. It's his Grand Prix in a way. Charles is now going to try and go past Max Verstappen. He does so down towards Lecom. Lewis then follows on lap 10 past Lecom. George is going to fight it, but I'm using ERS of Lewis because I think he is now the quicker one of the two. So we'll get Lewis past. And Lewis will try and claim his 3rd win in a row. And George will be trying to claim his first win since Canada. Which, I mean, they've both had 2 wins this season, I think. No, Lewis had 3, George has had 2. As Lewis comes into the pits on lap 13, George is going to continue on for another lap with the DRS. Lewis, 3.2 second pit stop, not great. I was pondering the softs, but the rain was 2 laps further away than what it was expected to be. So I went for the mediums just to be cautious rather. Not curious, Christ, English. George comes into the pits. It's a not much better stop than Lewis. It's about 3/10 quicker than Lewis's stop. George actually holds the fastest lap. He's out behind Lewis, but he'll still be out in front of Zhou Guanyu. As Lewis is going for Perez on lap 15. Dive bomb down the inside. He's got it. Keep pushing. George is... Oh no, sorry, that's Lewis on Gasly as Lewis takes the fastest lap. As I watch the replay, just so we can get a good thumbnail shot.
Closer and closer to that podium. Now in 4th place.
So if you're wondering how I get my thumbnails for F1 Manager, it's just a screenshot during the replay. As Verstappen and... Yep, Lewis, that was going to be the most difficult bit of the race. Splitting Sainz and Verstappen, because you could get past them when you've got DRS and they haven't, but splitting them is going to be so difficult as Lewis gets past both Verstappen and Sainz. And now George goes for them both, and Lewis is overtaken Charles going to turn 1. And George is now, oh sorry, Leclerc's now fighting back. George's now fighting back. When did George drive the red car? Leclerc is now overtaken by us. And now George is going to go for Leclerc on lap 25 as the rain is going to start falling down. The strategy has worked, to be fair. It's worked wonders. As the track water is 1.6 millimeters of rain, we're going to stack the cars, and it's a slow stop for Lewis. It's a 4.2. We stack the cars. Oh, Andy's he's been held up for Charles. Unfortunate. Lewis P1, George P3. Track condition has now changed to wet. Max was on inters and he went into the lead. Lewis goes with a lunge with 15 laps to go and now takes the lead. And George now does a lunge on Max and goes up. So we're first and third. We're now double stacking for inters as the track has gone dry again. Lewis in, George in. Nearly in front of Charles. We need to push like hell to get to Charles, and with 3 laps to go, George can't quite find a gap. He does find a gap here though, down into just before Blanchimont. It's a 1-2. Lewis getting the fastest lap, his 3rd win in a row. George getting P2, and we look like the team to beat at the moment. We look like we have the best car, with the quickest team. We won at a low speed track, we've won at a high speed track, we won at a medium speed track. This championship is all to play for, especially in our hands. We increase our Constructor Championship lead and we'll get closer to Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship.
From Lewis Hamilton.
Incredible. That was a really well-deserved win. They got their race strategy absolutely spot on.
We may see these kind of scenes a lot in Formula One, but it's easy to forget just what it means to the whole team. And Lewis Hamilton takes to the podium once more, adding yet another trophy to his legacy.
And that's excellent, seeing both the team's drivers up there on the podium together.
And there you have it, a smiley podium lineup at the Belgian Grand Prix. And as proceedings start to wind down here, what will Mercedes have made of this result, Karun?
I doubt they could be much happier. A win and a podium place. What a great way to round out the weekend.
And that is that for this weekend's F1 action here in Belgium.
For the next round, Formula One won't be straying too far. We'll be heading to the dunes of Zandvoort and the lightning speed of the Dutch Grand Prix.
Oh, there it is, the 1-2 for Mercedes. I think that's our second, it's our second 1-2 in a row. Like I said, we're the team to beat as Lewis now overtakes Charles in the championship and is 13 points off Max for the championship lead. We can do this, this is all to play for. George moves closer to Charles in the championship and claims P2, but we need to stop Ferrari from having these random 1-2s, so hopefully. Unfortunately, we didn't get any points in the pit stop championship, but I reckon in the second half of the year, when the pit stop aren't tired, we can make a charge in that, I hope. As now we get a new design, complete the suspension. Hopefully we'll design some of these. I think 3 of them, 4 of them. I should have done 4 of them. Why would I do 3 of them? Normal, 8 days. This should all come on for the next race for Singapore or Monza. As now we're starting to look towards next year's car, because I will do that, but it'll be after F1 Manager 24's first season at least. As we begin doing new research and stuff and having research complete. Fatigue reduction, see now there'd only be 34% tired, as now there's underfloor research. And we just started another research, and there's the chassis, these will come on possibly as late as Qatar. So these upgrades are going to hinder our progress because they're not going to come on that quick. These might come on for Singapore though. So we start a new project and we have a design complete on the side pod. So there's lots going on. We're making big improvements towards that championship. Make sure to like and subscribe and follow me on Twitch, MegaGamer8888 for more, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.